Well, hello there. Thanks for joining me again. Today we're going to be looking at how we can put a polarizing filter on a twin lens reflex camera. Now, there isn't a polarizing filter that you can just mount directly onto the bayonet mount on these twin lenses. They don't take a screw-mounted filter. So there are a couple of ways around that. If you want to use a polarizing filter, you can actually just hold it over the bottom lens, but of course you won't see the effect. So what you can do is hold up the filter and rotate it. The polarizing filter is in two parts, the mounting ring, and then the other section that has the glass rotates. Now, the effect of a polarizing filter is most effective when you are 90 degrees to the sun. And the way to really determine that is stand with the sun directly behind you, and you can see your shadow out in front of you. And I put my arms out to the sides, the left and right, and that's the direction that the polarizer will be most effective. It won't do anything facing away from the sun or facing directly into the sun. So just remember that. A lot of folks say, well, I got a polarizing filter but didn't do a darn thing. Well, that could be for two reasons. One, they're indirectly aligned with the sun, so they're facing in the wrong direction. Secondly, if they're facing in the correct direction, you still have to rotate that outer piece. So you have to rotate it to adjust it to the effect that you want to get. So just remember that. And polarizing filters are so effective. They can do some things that you can't correct or duplicate in post-production. Of course, you can darken the sky in post-production, do some of the things, but I frequently use it for removing reflection on glass or on damp rocks when I'm doing waterfalls or out in the deep forest. And so it has a lot of other uses. And I want you to please watch until the end, because you won't believe the last comparison. I'm going to have a series of pictures, samples to show you how I use this, but the last image is just going to blow you away. You won't believe how effective it is. And you certainly won't be able to produce that effect with post-production. So anyhow, a lot of folks ask, well, what sort of bag do you use for your Yashica? And this is what I have, a little tamarack. It works great. It has a little handle on the top, carrying strap, zipper pocket on the outside here, and it has a nice safety latch and a backup Velcro. So I'll lift that right up there. And on the inside, I have a pocket where I keep my adapters that I'm going to be showing you a little later. And also in this front pocket, I keep a couple rolls of film, cable release, and some of the smaller traditional Bayonet 1 or Bayonet 1 filters. Now, they don't make, as I mentioned, they don't make a polarizing filter that is in a bayonet mount you can just put on. So anyhow, here's my little Yashica. And I love this little camera. People ask me frequently, what do I suggest they look at for a entry-level medium format camera? And this is it. This is a Japanese copy of the Rolleiflex. Exact same parts. They did a wonderful job of duplicating that. And you notice the top lens, bottom lens, and they have the bayonet mount. And so normally the filters could just walk right in there. They make a series of those. But if you have a polarizing filter, you have to be able to adjust it properly. And the easiest way that I've found, rather than trying to hold it, which you can do, and I've done that a lot, if you're on a tripod, it's a lot easier, of course. But I've got this really cool adapter. I have a bayonet adapter up to a threaded 52 millimeter filter, because I have a lot of the old lenses from my Nikons, and they're all threaded 52 millimeter size. You can see here the bayonet. It's not threaded. It's got the little locking nubs on there. And on the opposite side, it's threaded. So you can get these in different sizes, but I just happen to have a lot of 52 millimeter filters. So that's what I use. And it just screws right into the front of this, and you're all set. As I mentioned, there's the mounting ring that holds the filter onto the threaded part, and then this outer part rotates. And you'll see the letters on there. Okay, so being that the top and the bottom lenses have the same type of mount. It's really easy to put this on, and you might have gotten a kick out of my little thumbnail that I had the title for my title for the video, and it had the filter in this place. And I thought, well, a lot of folks will get a kick out of that because they'll say, that guy doesn't really know what he's doing because he's got it on the wrong lens. Well, the reason I had it up there is because what I do is I will have in this position, and I will focus, and I get my filter adjusted. In this case, I'm darkening the sky and bringing out those clouds. And then I don't have to touch the filter anymore. What I'll do is just hold it on this ring out here, rotate it, put it down here, and it locks right in place. So that's all there is to it. Then when I take my picture, boom, I know it will be exactly as what I saw previously when I was using the top here. So that's basically how I use my polarizing filter. And again, I suggest if you're going to get a polarizing filter, get a warming filter. And I think the only company that makes the smaller sizes is the Moose or the Hoya, and they make the Moose polarizing filter. So try to find one of those and get the adapter, and you'll be in business. Because really, it makes a world of difference. Like if you have two people standing together and they're taking a picture of the same scene, one person doesn't have a filter, or maybe they have a polarizing filter, but it's not a warming polarizing filter. And the fellow on this side is taking a picture, then they compare, and it's kind of shocking almost that the one with the warming polarizing filter, the pictures are so much clearer. They seem to be sharper, the colors are warmer, and so it has a tremendous advantage over a regular filter. You get that polarizing warming filter. That's what you want to look for. So I'm going to show you a series of comparison images, and I'm going to put them on my monitor, and we're going to show you what to look for. And so I hope you enjoy those, and please again stay till the very last. That comparison is just going to blow you away. So let's take a look at those now. Okay, here we have our first sample picture. A few things to look out for. This is a straight shot, no polarizing filter, no warming filter, just a straight picture. When we put the polarizer on, the clouds are going to become apparent. The sky's going to go very dark. And you'll see that this doesn't have a lot of detail, not a lot of rich color. Again, that polarizing filter with the warming 81A built into it is going to really bring out the detail. But here's an important thing. I was talking about the clarity of a scenic shot when you're doing landscapes or whatever. Sure, you can see some detail here, but not much. Just kind of blah. It's got that kind of blue cast to it. Now when we go to this next one, look for that detail and look for how dramatic the sky is, and look for the detail on the door here. Now that's pretty dramatic. I'm going to go back and forth just a couple times to show you again. Notice the difference here. Look at that. And of course the sky, too light, don't see the detail in the clouds. And we'll go back. Very dramatic. Now look at that. If you were using that polarizing filter and somebody standing next to you didn't have that, and they were just taking a straight shot, what a world of difference. Now this is not Photoshop. There's no post-production on these. And our next one. Now if this were a tree, and this was the bark, branches, whatever, this kind of blue cast, typical of a non-warming filter, bright sun. But look for a couple things. One, we're going to, of course, darken the sky when we have the polarizing filter on, but the detail here is going to be dramatic. It's going to just glow. These pipes, or these cross beams here, these are not actually metal. Polarizing filters won't do anything on metal, but this is painted, this is coated, so that's going to change very dramatic in color. But the thing that really is impressing here, look at this. There's lacking detail here. It's kind of blue. It doesn't even look real sharp. Down here in the foreground, doesn't show a heck of a lot here, but look how dark they are. They're not very nice. But let's go and I'll watch for the colors to change here, and how dark the sky becomes, and how these beams brighten up. Same shot, just a couple seconds from the previous one. Now look at all the great color and detail here. Look how warm that is. You can see the detail and texture, and even up in here where the hardly any detail was showing before because it was all blue and very dark. And of course we have the dark sky, and look at those beams. Again, that's not metal. It's painted. Look at the difference. Pretty dramatic. Okay, the next one is my favorite. This really shows the power of that polarizer. A couple things to look for. All these reflections in the glass are masking the information and the detail inside the display case. And the letters here, now this is all perfectly focused. I will not have changed any focus. On the next shot, I'm going to have just put the polarizer on. But the letters aren't even real sharp. You don't even hardly see what's back here. And all we have to do is put on that polarizing filter, make sure we have it rotated in the proper position, and watch what happens here. No Photoshop, no touch-up. Look how sharp the letters are. Got rid of that glare. Everything is saturated, and look at that detail. Can't even tell there's glass there. We'll go back to the original. That's pretty dramatic. So I hope you're encouraged to use that polarizer and understand that you can, in fact, use it on your twin lens reflex cameras. I want to thank you for tuning in, and if you like what you saw, please consider subscribing. Share this with your friends if you can, and please give it a big thumbs up. That really helps a lot. So until next time, have a good time and stay focused.